And welcome back everyone to APAC Fall Series Overwatch Contenders. We are here with G-Clef, Unknown here, and as we get things ready for the winner's match of the day, it is going to be VERREL versus DAF. Very exciting match coming up. I don't know who's going to win, who's going to be coming on top of this winner's match. Plus, I would like to see all maps 5 onto Escort. Please, please, please. That's all I'm hoping for today.
He wants that Escort. I
Yes,
definitely agree with you, G-Clef. This has the potential to be one of the biggest bangers in this series. Remember, this was the same matchup that was the grand finals in the previous season. So this is, yes, VERREL looks like they have the upper hand at the current moment right now because they've also just improved leaps and bounds from their summer season. And also, DAF kind of looks like the rust is there a little bit, but, you know, DAF won just like it was barely like almost like 15 minutes before they just won, and that momentum is still there on the side of DAF as well. So DAF also has the talent to take down VERREL. The talent is there. It's just about how they are going to execute it.
Yeah, it does seem like it. Depending on the map, it might flip things a little bit too, as these logos actually looking kind of alike, triangular logos, both of them. VERREL, as we mentioned, it does seem like Nico's back on DPS.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the initial starting 5 that we were trying to see against Fade, but Nico had connection issues and was not able to start. So Mihawk was taking his place. Yes, Mihawk did a fantastic job on the hit scan, and VERREL won with style. However, with this starting 5, I'm really kind of curious to see how Mihawk will work as the flex support here. I am definitely expecting to see the Illari and Baptiste here with Nico on the DPS role. DAF, Ace High Vision. They're starting with High Vision instead of Yoshinori 2K. They're definitely thinking that High Vision is feeling a lot more confident than Yoshinori 2K on the day. And we are seeing Tank on the tank here.
Oh, Tank on Tank. That's a pretty good idea, I would have to say. Fitting name for the main tank to be going on, but that's a wild switch, I would say, up against a very strong opponent.
I think DAF definitely has something that pre-prepared here because Tank is mostly a main support with the specializing in the Winston Ball and Orisa. Maybe if they want to just hard lock the Orisa here, they might do something. Maybe the Ball, because Ilios is also a ball viable map. So remember, Ilios, this time it is going to be Ilios instead of Busan, so we're going to have a different scene, different compositions here. I definitely think that R3K was doing pretty well, so I assume that the only reason that they want to put in Dank instead of R3K is that they have something prepared.
They better have a lot prepared for this map, because we've seen what VERREL was able to do, and DAF did have some troubling moments and control, but with a different roster. And same for a different roster for VERREL, because they did not have Nico in the first match. As we get things ready to get on to Ilios.
Okay, KSG picked something. It doesn't have a shield and doesn't... Okay, never mind.
D.Va. Tricky.
Oh, dang. Are you just really going to do it that Winston? This looks like
I think so. With the comp that we've seen so far from DAF with Tracer, I don't know.
This kind of makes sense, but it's also a little bit outdated. Because this is what we've probably seen a lot in the previous patches, but once again, if you kind of think about it, the Hangzhou Spark from the Overwatch League, got a lot of success with this composition, so maybe they're really confident in their Winston composition because, yes, the Junker Queen composition and the Orisa composition looks a lot better. However, if you play it really well, it is still viable, and even in this meta, especially considering that this is Lighthouse and Echo is also a very viable pick. This might make sense.
That Echo air duel will be very crucial between QQ and Ace, and here comes QQ poking from the back. He's not able to find any kills, but let's see. KSG taking lots of initial damage, did not break the mech at least. So not the worst news. As you have some trade between the... QQ actually going down from Wow, from the chain.
So, okay, DAF got a little bit of positional advantage on the point, and they got the cap first, and VERREL is losing members a little bit, and that Diva stagger there. I'm really surprised with the Diva pick from KSG here, because usually when we think about the Diva, you would assume that Plankton would be preparing for the Diva as well. However, like, you know, maybe they're planning something else, like the ball or something like that, but it happens to be Lighthouse, which Diva is a really good pick on. So maybe this is a temporary measure. However, right now it seems like at 40%, DAF is gaining the percentage needed, and they're also having the ultimates, but
right after.
VERREL is taking the picks on the neutral fight, and they're going to flip it at 55%-ish.
There's a pretty big fight right after, and if you lose one more, could have been a lot more dangerous. Could have been a lot more percentage going towards VERREL now. About half done for DAF.
The bright side about DAF is that they will be having their tools online. Probably the Nano would go to either the Echo or the Winston, and they would have the push power, or they could just take out the soldier like that. But there's trading kills here. The Ana down, meaning that there's not going to be the Nano available for the Winston. However, VERREL is answering with a lot of ultimates of their own. It looks like the ultimates are paying off. The duplicate and the captive son may be enough to keep DAF at bay. And considering that DAF used 3 ultimates, this is actually really paying off for VERREL. What an impressive performance.
Yeah, VERREL still do have 2 ultimates available on top. And now almost matching in numbers. They should be by the time of the next fight. Here, Ace. Comparing it to, if you compare the fight power, the power coming out from Echo from both teams, QQ initially was the one dropping, but right after that, QQ has been poking so much more compared to Ace in terms of positioning and what you were able to do as a DPS, just having a lot more harassment.
DAF has very limited options here. Here is the Nano Winston. They need to do something,
on.
but they used the bubble early on, so the Winston has to be is exposed to a lot of damage, and it doesn't have the primal, so it is down.
Because of Winston, Anna had to position all the way on the front and was caught off immediately. VERREL just catching them off guard one by one, and the entire team falling into pieces. Even Vision.
Dead has to go to the Wrecking Ball just for the sake of this, because they 89%, and VERREL has 3 ultimates, 4 incoming. They have all the tools in the world to make this happen.
You just have to wait. 4%, DAF, they have... Even Vision changing into Soldier was actually closer to getting that ult.
The touch is there.
Oh, but dang, it's so low. It was brought down immediately. And everyone being fallen apart in the middle of the path. Yeah, Tracer could not blink and come all the way into the point that will give VERREL, who started with 0.53, getting that 100% first.
Yeah, DAF had some really great moments, especially on the earlier parts of Lighthouse here. They had good positioning, they won a few fights, but after that, VERREL, it was really impressive in a sense that they didn't even use ultimates to go back. I think everything went wrong from DAF, like in 2 times in a row, because after that Nano Winston, the Winston had to use the bubble, and after that, he jumped into the point, and even with that damage reduction from that Nano, it was not enough without the bubble to keep himself alive, and without that primal, that was easy prey for the VERREL, and that was just a Nano lost, and no other tools to answer the VERREL aggression.
Yeah, Nano, just to save your thing, it's just a bad news. Unless you can have extra power to turn it around, in which case you had no other teammates to follow up along with the Winston, and on that point, it was just a bad news, getting worse every single time when the ult button was being pressed.
Yeah, so we are seeing a very rare sniper duel, because, I mean, yes, this is Ruins, so the Widowmaker is a viable pick. However, we don't see a lot of Widow duels these days, so I'm really happy that this is there, and it is, VERREL does have a little bit of more poke potential, but once VERREL has closed the distance, they have the advantage. However, DAF is not allowing that to happen, and Vision sniping out the members of VERREL, and VERREL has to reset.
So far, Ace 1-0, Nico 0 on that 1v1 duel. And still keeping up with the Widow. Okay, I thought it was going to be initially first 40 seconds or so.
Nah, I don't think that's just gonna be the case here. I think they're gonna fight until the bitter end. Ace has 77% on that on the ultimate, and Nico third, fourth. Yeah, I think this sniper duel is good for a while.
Captain Sun is able to mark a few in the room, but no other follow-up damage as Biotic Field in the ground.
Ace takes down Nico, but Nico also took down Obudo in the process. Ace is clicking heads. Wow, and it looks like DAF is going to take a little bit more time on that point.
Oh, Fuki's still alive, actually. High Vision is the one trapped on the point.
Okay,
and a Javelin.
KSG.
Nice hit, right on the money.
Okay, the heroics of KSG flips the point, but it is going to be taken right back to DAF as VERREL has to wait for their tank to come back. And the stagger kills might be very, very crucial here because it is already 70%. And waiting for Mihawk to come back means that it might be final fight territory for VERREL.
Yeah, but still keeping everything up with the Matrix. Oputo putting some good output on healing. Keeping Orisa up healthy. It's been about Ace actually grabbing extra kill along the fight.
So KSG knows that this is going to be desperation territory and changes to the ball, and also kind of works on keeping the Widowmaker at bay, but Ace takes down Nico! Oh man, that's gonna hurt.
And right at the perfect timing, Oputo comes up to keep his member alive.
Overtime is triggered. KSG is very low, may not even touch. So the other members of VERREL are touching, but it looks like DAF is going to take Ruins, and we are going the full distance on Ilias here.
Yeah, even with that Blizzard, everyone was actually away, right on top, having a better positioning from DAF. Those two really doing a lot of work. A Widow duo that's really not really the most common on the map. And also keeping that up for the entire duration.
Yeah, so, and the Widowmaker duel went definitely in the favor of DAF here. Ace had the better of Nico, at least for this round. And we are going to well as our final round of Ilios. Oh, this is proving to be quite a series because DAF, although they did show a lot of weaknesses on the previous match, they are looking a lot better against VERREL.
Yeah, whenever Ace is doing a whole lot of work, and here's Symmetra once again, and going back into Echo. So this is going to be a mirror comp between the two teams.
Yeah,
see whose Torbjorn can land better shots, and also Echo in the air.
So both Echoes will not be having a Mercy, so it's going to be a duel for this pure skill duel between these two Echoes. Of course, we have seen both players play the Echo in previous seasons.
Yeah, Echo support fighting each other here. Basically a mirror. Oh, actually,
Kyuki taking down Ace. So this definitely feels good for VERREL, and VERREL uses that numbers advantage to cap the point first.
But what about on the other side? No other follow-up kills so far, but that should totally switch the balance.
The Javelin goes wide, and KSG is slowly pushing out the members of
High Vision.
Oh, High Vision!
Also was able to get a kill on Echo in the air somehow.
Okay, so the momentum is swung back on DAF's favor because they will be having the they will both have the numbers advantage and area superiority here. KSG very low. Cloud using the Captive Sun to deny the point flip and apply pressure on the members of DAF. And Mihawk takes down Ace. So this is once again, wow. The pendulum swings so quickly here that because VERREL was in the advantage, DAF takes it back, and VERREL also takes it back. Now Cookie very low, but still holding on by a sliver of health, and it is still enough to push DAF back.
Yes, even with all the output and the amount of time that Dank was able to hold, still it wasn't enough. As VERREL, they actually ended up pressing. Whenever the ult was ready, they just ended up pressing it because they knew the importance.
Oh, that stagger is gonna hurt because that is at least 8 seconds off. And 73% means that DAF is not going to have enough time.
Oh, but
however, Ace takes down Cloud and Cookie. This might be their opening for their for that flip because they need this, absolutely need this.
Yeah, here's the push, so that's exactly why. Oh, even Molten Core being used by Nico to keep the point alive. They want to finish this with 100-0. Oh, it seems like they do have some time ready, but oh, way too much damage coming out from DAF. Parley, Oputo. Yeah, leading up. Those supports are now supports. They're putting out some numbers.
Yeah, I think it was a kind of a miscommunication on VERREL's side, on the side of VERREL, because KSG, although KSG was really pressured so hard to the brink of death, he did not use his Terra Surge, which I think is a good decision because they are already at 93%. They can afford to give up the point. But Nico thought different, and he just wanted to win this and use the Molten Core. I think it would have been better used later on. But VERREL still has a handful of ultimates, and they have an ultimate advantage. So let's see how this works out.
Here's Orisa versus Orisa. One duplicate. As QQ would follow up with extra damage, extra attack.
And extra sustain as well, because the Baptiste is there.
99%.
And the flip is already there, and losing members at this stage of the map means that it's going to be VERREL, and VERREL wins 2, and that means Ilios goes to VERREL.
Oh man, what a series.
Yeah.
That we're going to be starting with, and 2-1. Well, that was certainly a close one because we've seen some moments of both teams not really having the best ult management, and there were some panic moments. Okay, we actually. Oh, they were fighting there. Their neutral fights were going so long, up to like a minute and a half. No one actually dying. Both teams contesting. Nico, Ilari actually, Echo and Ilari contesting on the other side, and the other 3 contesting near the room. Actually, no one around the well to contest. It was actually quite fun. We got to see a lot more action from Echo, but I wonder what was happening on the other side too.
Well, probably I think they were struggling for a space because. If any team is able to kind of like, you know, fully control that space, that means it's going to be a double angle for that team, and having double angles on a single target is always going to be you know, on the advantage. So I think it was a struggle for that. I understand what it is, but once the point was flipped on the side and the favor of VERREL, I think I think DAF should have been on the point a little bit. But I think both teams did really well, and that just hypes up more expectations for map 2.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly what we wanted from coming out from these two teams, and they will continue on the second map. That is going to be it for our first map, Ilios. But when we come back, we'll have our second map of the winners match. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. VERREL up 1-0, but DAF, I'm pretty sure they're ready to strike back as this roster is filled with talent and they can just go back and forth depending on the map. And because they lost again, here you can choose the map if you lose the first or the second. You can choose the following map of the choice, and it's going to be hybrid. So either Kings Road that we got to see once, Midtown that we always get to see, or
Blizzard World.
Blizzard World.
I want to see a Blizzard World, to be honest. Like, it's a nice change of pace or a nice change of scenery. I think that it also might catch VERREL a little bit off guard. I think, like if I guess DAF wants to play the Winston, maybe I don't know. Maybe Kings Row is also viable, but
here's my
but
take.
Blizzard World is also like
because DAF lost the first map, they will likely to go back into Midtown.
That means that likely R3K is gonna come back. Is it?
Potentially.
Yeah, because I don't see a Winston working out on Midtown. Okay, I heard the music. That's Midtown. Okay, you are the analyst here now. I'm just going to be the cheerleader from now on.
No, I'm just having the 1/3 luck. And slightly less of a percentage for Blizzard World, of course. Right now in this meta, the team comp, I think it's slightly better for either for Midtown or Kings Row.
Yeah, I agree.
But okay, DAF was able to take good advantage against opponents earlier on this map against NGUK. But now that the opponent is VERREL, They might not be having those choke point moments as they are very experienced in all maps, including Midtown.
Yeah, remember, this VERREL roster has been experiencing matches against the best of the best teams of the world, including Team South Korea, including some Overwatch League teams in the Overwatch League Opens, and yeah, this is a team that has been all the way to Opens. So, and yes, we are seeing that R3K Dank. We are noticing more and more that a lot of teams in APAC are preferring the Sigma on the defense on Midtown, and VERREL also hovering the Sigma. Since VERREL is going to be at the attack, this is just a hover yet. We do not know if this is going to be the final composition for VERREL. However, it looks very likely because we've seen a lot of, Sigma on the attack on Midtown as well.
Yeah, so it could just be the push along with the poke coming from Kyuki. That may...
Oh, the Mei is a very interesting pick. The only reason that I think that Mei might be viable here is that they are expecting an Orisa pick, maybe, because I really don't think the Mei is effective against the Sigma here, because the wall because one of the biggest values of the Mei is that you use the wall to trap, like a single out a target and then focus them down. But with the Sigma can have a lot of distance, can keep the distance. So it's really hard to isolate them with the wall, and you have to risk your life like this. And VERREL has to reset.
And a couple more fall.
Ace
is responding back though.
Down. However, I don't think it's going to be enough for VERREL to actually make that push.
Yeah, this alleyway, that's
good accretion from R3K. If you look at the ult percentage here, R3K is already at 90% on the gravitic flux. That means R3K did so much damage compared to KSG. I don't. I'll be very honest here. I think VERREL needs to change up their DPS competition. Maybe a Hanzo or a Bastion.
So with the Sigma already having that ultimate online, Flux will be big because there are not that many, especially if you're coming back in from the alley side. This is the alley side.
Again,
VERREL has been testing this ground.
Down a VERREL. So DAF is using this poke composition to full effect. Yes, the Captain Sun is there, but I don't think it did any. I don't think it did any real damage. Yes, it did leave a mark on some members of DAF, but it did not. There was no angle for any follow-up damage, and VERREL once again has to reset. And that was only with DAF using a single gravitic flux. So, there's the Captain Sun on the side of DAF. So now 2 ultimates. However, 2 ultimates are still online on the side of DAF, and a third is on the way, while VERREL only has the only has the window left.
And with the window, less than 2 minutes left already. VERREL, there were some moments where there was a snipe onto Ace, I believe, but even with that 4v5, they just could not press onto advantage because some of the members were actually off position, looking for these separate picks, and
the Molten Core is there, so that means they're
going Blizzard. So Blizzard might actually win on top of that Molten Core. And with Nico, KSG pushing from the mid-top. And 3 members actually caught off guard all the way up here at the point.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they can actually go to the point.
Why
yeah,
is DAF on the subway?
They're actually going towards the other side.
Yeah, this opens a lot. This opens a lot of space for VERREL to actually be on the point. I don't think DAF can contest. Maybe they can, but
yeah, they lost their retreat path, and VERREL actually got a free load into the point.
Yeah, so it was basically VERREL. It was a divide and conquer strategy from the side of VERREL. I thought that DAF would have a very good. A very good chance of actually contesting after 2 ticks, after giving out 2 ticks. However, DAF was kind of pigeonholed into going into the subway, the upper side subway, and that was not where you wanted to go.
Certainly not, as maybe you can look for a miracle, a comeback in between, and look for the sandwich, but there are just a lot of options for VERREL too. Nico does go down. The Ash duel keeps on being won by High Vision.
Early Captive Sun.
A lot of trades. Slightly better for VERREL still.
But
And
remember,
no one pushing
Cloud
the
and
payload.
Mihawk is down, so no support. It's on the side of VERREL. This means KSG is also falling down, and DAF is stabilizing.
Yeah, a whole lot of work from Ace and High Vision in that team fight. Don't exactly, yeah. Now we do have High Vision on screen, but has been having landing some great shots as Ash.
So, yes, DAF kind of like, you know, they gave up point A when they probably shouldn't have, but right now, the pass is the pass. They have 4 ultimates online with VERREL only with the Gravitic Flux. I think DAF, if they use these ults correctly, they should be able to at least win 2 fights. So that's gonna taking considering that there's only 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock, that is going to, you know, that is going to make it until final fight territory.
Yeah, another headshot coming out from High Vision there. Yeah, keeping one all the way back. The respawn should be coming soon, but that also stopped them now, allowing VERREL to actually grab few ultimates.
There is that Gravitic Flux from KSG. I don't think there's any casualties on the side of DAF for that. And High Vision used Bob, and Pally is using Captive Sun as well. Will there be any casualties? The first casualty is going to be the May.
Nice blizzard.
VERREL, nice blizzard, but there's no going to be follow-up damage. VERREL is running for their lives right now, and DAF wants more blood on their hands. Nice secretion. However, I don't think there's going to be any more follow-up kills, but DAF manages to keep VERREL at bay. Now it's only 46 seconds, and VERREL only has that window.
Yeah, that could have been a moment where VERREL pushes all the way with the blizzard, but the rest of the pack will already push us. We have another team fight as we only have 35 seconds to go. Yeah, with those ultimates, the window, keeping them alive. VERREL finally making some push happen, but multi-core ready. Ace coming back from the side, looking for that angle.
The R3K Gravitic Flux did not have much value. However, health bars across the board on VERREL are very, very low. We still have, DAF still has the window, but I don't think he'll be wanting to use it because DAF is losing members left and right. I still think that DAF has a opportunity to make that final contest.
Okay, overtime, as I think, yeah, Ace now changing into Widow. I think that multi-core was actually shut off right before it was deployed. So VERREL with the push 2 meters away. Cookie lost already.
So the contest
5v4
is there. Cookie is there. Yes, 5v4. Ace is low, but will be able to be healed up. I think it is going to be curtains for at least right now for VERREL.
Ace with that shot. And going to continue, but response back. Nico. Ash does win out.
KSG taken down. Nico taken down. So it is going to be over for the side of VERREL. Yes, that was an impressive point A push, but VERREL fails to take point B.
But 1-0, but almost a 2-pointer, 111 meters. I would say that's actually not too bad on Midtown, because we've seen some teams struggling to get even near that 80-meter mark.
Ooh, a nice shot from Nico. However, like, I think...
Yeah, this was a fun moment. That creative kill. The rocket and the shot from Ash, eating them at the same time.
Yeah, like, it was impressive from Nico, but at the same time, it was really kind of disappointing maneuver from DAF because they should have probably just fell back instead of going into the subway and then just waiting to regroup, because I think they had enough members to recontest for point A, yes. But, I mean, still good stuff from Nico, and also good response from DAF as well to do as much damage control as they can and stop VERREL's push at point B.
Now, swapping sides, can Def pull out the same or better? 11 is what we were looking for. And Ace actually thinking about starting on Widow, maybe just for the start?
Nah, he's not. Because we can see if he's just gonna just have try one shot. If there's a life weaver on the roster.
And yeah, you can't really have like a high ground on top on this map to begin with. So
yeah, there's a corner right after the spawn, so not a lot of angles for the Widowmaker to make an opening shot here. And so Eirik, I see High Vision with the Bastion here. However, Nico starts off with taking out Pally, so DAF needs to back out a little bit until they regroup. I really like the Bastion pick from High Vision here because I think it is going to be key for breaking that Sigma barrier first. And, you know, only one side having the Sigma barrier is going to be very, very advantageous, especially on a similar composition.
VERREL
like this.
actually doing a better job keeping the contest on to the side as that DAF. They're making a lot of rotation to go into that alley, but every single body trying to get in there is being lost even before opening up any angle.
I thought I think it must have been kind of like a communication error on the side of that because R3K was already backing off, right? And High Vision was just stuck on that corner over there, was not backing off with the tank. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication or a little bit of overconfidence from the side of High Vision, but these I think DAF still has a chance until KSG has that Gravitic Plus, and they got that pick they wanted, so they would slowly be walking into that point.
Yeah, with the Matrix, DF was able to put out a lot. Wait, hold on. Okay, KSG and Nico sandwiched a little few more. Those spears, once you can actually bounce off with a lot of walls on the side, you can actually create some angles.
KSG using the Gravitic Flux.
Worth it. If they can manage to defend this point really well. R3K had no one else on the back, so another successful defense by VERREL here as we go down below 2-minute mark.
Yeah, I think it was really clever of KSG to use that ult because yes, it was only for targeting R3K. However, if you look at the ultimate situation on the side of VERREL, everyone except KSG now have ults. So as long as they don't waste all 4 ults at the same time, they will be having the enough tools to thwart any kind of offense on their DAF side.
So about 3 ults coming back online for DAF in seconds.
Oh, they're using all 4 ults though. This is
Nico and trapping all the members in the room first.
Yes, this is an impressive fight for VERREL. However, this is a little bit of a problem because they used all 4 ultimates that they had left, and DAF is approaching 3 ultimates, maybe even 4 if the fight gets longer. So DAF has with 1 minute on the clock remaining, they have one chance. They have one chance remaining to make this happen.
I do agree. I think using all 4 was a little too much. Maybe keeping 1 at least was going to be the safe option. But I guess they have the confidence to gather everything back up for the next fight.
Molten Core there to flush out the subway, the high ground subway. Oh,
Yeah,
this
still,
is going
this
to be
is exactly what happens as there's just way too much resource available for DAF.
Yeah, once again, I have to mention about how VERREL used all 4 ultimates on the fight before. Maybe if they used 2 or maybe even 3, it might have been okay. But with DAF having like 3 or 4 ultimates approaching, it was too much of a risk, or rather a waste of ultimates to use all 4 there. So I think VERREL had this coming. DAF, they actually still have a good chance on the next fight as well because they have the tactical visor and the window. Well, yes, KSG has the Gravitic Flux and the Captive Sunnier. The KSG ultimate is there. The lamp is there to save everyone. No casualties on the side of DAF. There is that tactical visor. Will that be able to create any value? R3K falls, so no, VERREL wins this fight.
With no tank, DAF, they have 3 forced back unless Ace. Okay, they get KSG, so let's see the contest. High Vision wins again. DAF, they are willing to go for the push. They're actually going to be speedlining this one.
Okay,
Pretty far.
despite KSG using the Gravitic Flux and taking out a few members of DAF first, DAF with High Vision and Soldier actually made things happen, and the push goes on. The ominous music of defeat is there for VERREL.
140 left. And here's the power of the sun once again. DAF, they want to finish this right now. VERREL, no ult available.
KSG very, very low. They need
Nico immediately with the visor. Has to put out everything that they have because it's right in front. 1.77 left. Nico
takes down Ace, but High Vision
again
takes more. Takes down Nico. Takes down Cookie. Numbers advantage for DAF. Yes, VERREL has the spawn advantage. However, 1.77 meters left means that one more casualty can be it.
Visor available here as Hivage is still alive. Takes out everything, and that is going to be DAF with the comeback. And we have a series in our hands. Was able to push about a minute 20 left on the clock, and
Wow.
nicely done by DAF, especially Hivision. Hivision's high skill tier play in those moments, not dying. I think within the last minute or so, Hivision was able to grab at least like 7-8 kills on his own. Such an amazing talent.
I really cannot praise High Vision enough because remember, even in the last match, when DAF was on a ult deficit, High Vision was there just to make kills, even without the ults. And even on Midtown here, yes, R3K actually had a pretty decent gravitic flux. Excuse me, KSG actually had a pretty decent gravitic flux on the side of VERREL. However, the Soldier 76 from High Vision secured the kills, and even at the very last moments, Nico had a good tactical visor taking out the Torbjorn. However, High Vision took out 2 members, which is unbelievable.
Soldier 76. It's incredibly hard to put out that much DPS. Of course, if you can land all the shots, but it is incredibly hard. On top of that, he was also landing on the Helix rockets, most of them. And that's just what it is. If you can land all of that, you put out max DPS, but sometimes you just can't. And with 1-1 tied now, both teams might have to think a little bit more. They'll have some extra time because we're going to be taking a short break. And when we come back, map number 3 again will be Flashpoint 1-1 tied between VERREL and DAF. And welcome back, everyone. We are in between VERREL versus DAF winners match of APAC Fall Series here, day number 2, and we have 1-1 tied. So we are certainly going for that map number 4 and possibly the first escort of the entire tournament. I hope we see it. I really hope that we get to see it because it is these 2 teams, I think, for the entire tournament that now at least we got to see at least few games being played by every single team. For all the 8 teams in APAC. So I would actually put these 2 teams in top 3 so far.
Yeah, definitely top 3. Heaven Sent already in the winners bracket over there. And VERREL and DAF. So definitely top 3. DAF on paper kind of looks like the weakest of the 3, but after that performance on Midtown, I might have to change my notes here.
Yep, that you might be scratching a few things off your notes and rewriting with the highlights, saying, "Okay, that's important." As VERREL also had some ult management issues, as we have called it in the middle.
Man. I can talk about that all day, especially at that defense on point A. When they had 4 ultimates, I think they should have just used like 2, maybe even at the cost of losing that point. They probably should have saved a little bit of their ults because they knew that at one point that DAF would be having more ultimates. Way more ultimates than them if they used all 4. Like, yes, they won that fight, but they lost that war, and which kind of eventually snowballed into losing the map. So maybe, I guess, what's done is done. Like, even professional, the best of the best teams can't be perfect. On VERREL's point of view, they should just reset, have a mental reset, and we are having Sharvasa for Flashpoint, so it's for VERREL, it's a new start. For DAF, they want to put this momentum and secure that lead.
If they can, as the losing team does get to pick the map. As VERREL, this is the preferred map out of the 2. Within Surabaya and New Junk City.
Yeah, there's not a lot to choose from, to be honest. However, I mean, even the smallest advantages can lead to a victory. It can be the difference between victory and loss, and especially in a high-stakes match against good teams, but in the match between good teams like these 2.
Because you're likely watching one of the later matches of the tournament, too, because these teams, I'm pretty sure they will be surviving towards the end of the tournament, even if one team loses it to the lower bracket.
Okay, we are seeing the hovers right now. Ace on the Genji, High Vision on the Sojourn, and R3K on the Doomfist. We saw a little bit of this on Busan earlier on today.
Which worked okay, but only on Busan.
Yeah, and VERREL is going with the Orisa composition with, the Symmetra and the Mei. I'm not totally sure I like this. Yes, they did change to Soldier and the Mei. To be honest, I'm not really convinced with this Mei pick here.
And late on the rotation, of course, DAF takes the high ground first. And Nico actually went around the loop.
Which is kind of...
I still do think Soldier is actually coming around from the other side.
Yeah, which is kind of typical, which is not so surprising from what you see from Soldier 76. However, not a lot of casualties at first here. Oh, High Vision taking down Cookie, despite being pressured by KSG. It's so impressive. That leads, so one domino falls, the others fall as well, and Nico falls. That means there are no more damage output from the side of VERREL, and DAF already capped first point and is already ticking towards 30% here, G-Clef.
Yeah, along with Doomfist, their movement is just so fast, and VERREL sometimes cannot be ready. Even with that biotic field and both the supports from the back, sometimes it is just not enough. As DAF, their composition, they can just totally ignore that Orisa and just dive into the back line, which is not as common in this meta. But still, DAF, because they've been having this comp for at least a couple of times on display during the tournament. It seems like it is so far working, and once again, that's
taking down Nico. Nico was definitely sorely needed for VERREL to flip this point. Yes, VERREL is contesting the point, but without the Soldier 76, they're gonna lack a lot of the crucial damage that they need. And look at High Vision's ult charge here. Pally also already has that Kitsune Rush. A lot of ultimates online for DAF. Do they even need it? Yes, they are going to use the Meteor Strike from... they're actually using the Sound Barrier as well, because VERREL is investing all their ultimates.
But still coming on top, DAF having some better moments. High Vision, overclock, and the follow-up kills coming down from Pally, and also High Vision again and again. Bastion goes down as the final kill, and VERREL does not get the first point. DAF securing that easily.
And next point is going to be Palace. And to make things worse, it is actually closer to where DAF is. So VERREL is going to be having to face another defensive positioning from DAF once again. And also, there's the Kitsune Rush. There is the Dragon Blade on the side of DAF. VERREL needs to use the Terror Surge very cleverly in order to break those defenses. And yes, Cookie is approaching the Molten Core, but remember, VERREL needs to be on the attacking side of things, and the Molten Core is not always the best ultimate to open an attack.
Yeah, that's exactly why Nico has brought in the Cassidy for the grenade, but before that, actually hold on, because Obto got one traded, no more Genji at least. But Nico, without doing too much work from the side, does get one. Look, if you were being traded, as you have to see a little bit more as Doomfist just escaping out of the zone. VERREL does have the first capture.
Okay, good fight from the side of VERREL. Yes, they invested two ultimates, the Molten Core and the Terra Surge. However, DAF also used the Kitsune Rush and the Dragon Blade as well. Those are two major ultimates that would have changed the fight in favor of DAF. So this is actually in VERREL's favor now, because they will be having they will be having the Nano Boost, but not if KSG falls. KSG has to be very careful here, and also remember, VERREL is playing the Ana, and the Ana may be an easy dive target for Doomfist.
Yeah, man, who do you give the Nano Boost to? I mean, Nico again, already down. The dive seems to be very well working, even with that grenade available now from Cassidy. KSG just cannot survive or be the shield of the entire team, as usually, look at what happens. DAF just diving into the back line again and again. KSG left alone on the point, and in that case, VERREL just cannot have the full team of power as one.
Yeah, as if you look at the ultimate situations here, VERREL has the Captive Sun. They will be having the Captive Sun. They already have the Nano Boost. They will be having the Deadeye. Well, the problem is that DAF will be having the measures to go counter against. That is going to be the electric cowboy that we haven't seen in a while. However, not making a lot of kills. Yes, Pally is down. Mihawk is down. High Vision also takes care of Nico. So there's a lot of damage output down from VERREL. And I think DAF might be able to equalize the progress made on this point here.
Yep. By the time VERREL comes back, it should be around 80%-ish. As KSG just went down, and that's another problem. That will be more gain for DAF.
I believe that VERREL might have enough time to contest, but the question is, do they want to?
Yeah, they have the tank. It's coming later.
Okay,
so instead, DAF goes in wide. Overclock Genji Blade early on. Bastion caught.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of an overkill,
yeah,
though.
KSG's the only one alive, as you can see. Right there. Again and again, the respawn is just not perfect.
I understand. I think it's a little bit of an overkill on the side of DAF. We are going to Temple next. However, look, I think the overclock would have been enough to zone out VERREL and just have them give up the point, because the point was the progress that DAF already had on the second point was already enough. But yes, Ace did get a few kills with the Dragon Blade, but I think DAF might be they will be missing that Dragon Blade for the next fight.
Hey, Unknown, it is important to release the dragon sometimes. Let Genji do what he wants to do. Okay, let's see if it actually comes to bite later on. As Ace already on 32% somehow. That's those shurikens landing well.
I think VERREL was a little bit divided there, because some of the members of VERREL were capping the point, while some of the other members of VERREL were.
They did have the first capture, but not for long, only 21%. And that is barely nothing on Flashpoint.
Yeah, so in the end, Ace didn't need that Dragon Blade after all. They won because VERREL was divided, and I think that it was a little bit of a communication miss between VERREL, because some of the members were capturing the point, some of the members were fighting, and so a little bit of a mistake on the side of VERREL. They need to be on the offensive. Pally starts the offense here. Kuki kind of zones them out with the Molten Core. However, it is not enough. It is not enough to save Nico, and yet VERREL's offense is delayed once again, and the time is ticking, because 60% on the point means that one more loss, and it may be curtains for VERREL on Sorbosa.
A few more available. There's a Captain Sun, and also Nano when it's needed for VERREL. High Vision down, unless there's
Nano
a crucial
on
blade.
Cloud. How is this going to be? Okay, a kill on Pally, so maybe the Nano was worth it. However,
so going to save the blade for later on, and yeah, Genji just dropped down.
Okay, now is the time. Now is the timing where you can use both the blade and the overclock at the same time, because this means one team fight win will guarantee them not just the point but also the map. And VERREL only has the Bastion ult to answer. So if DAF knows the ultimate situations of both themselves and VERREL, I would call for both of the ult usage this time.
And back on Jungle Queen. Y3K. Slowly back onto the point. VERREL in a better position.
First. Cloud very low and down, and there is that blade to finish off. I don't think VERREL has anything to answer that. And KSG very lonely on that point. Kuki is down, KSG is down. That is going to be point for DAF, and I think that is going to be map for DAF as well.
Yeah, the moment you flip, there's no one from VERREL coming even near the point, and that's a 3-0 victory for VERREL on Flashpoint. A big upset, I would say.
Yeah, DAF takes that map, and it is match point for DAF. We did not see this coming into this match, Cliff.
And also, I'm quite surprised that Mihawk was on Ana forever, even fighting against the comp that you are weakest against. I wonder what the deal was. Maybe they just had they were just not coordinated. The communicate, they had to talk about so many things that were going wrong within the team that they just did not really have the time to really change the team comp much.
I think it might also be some sort of hero pool issue, because remember when Mihawk was coming into the flex support, he is predominantly, yes, he is a flex, but he is mainly a hit scan. And usually when hit scans come into the roster as a support, they usually play the Illari or the Ana. Maybe the Zenyatta, but the Zenyatta has even more problems against that dive composition with the Doomfist. So I guess maybe Mihawk was not so as comfortable with the other flex supports, or maybe the even main supports that the team needed. However, yeah, so and also I think VERREL kind of believed in the value of the Nano probably, but in the end it wasn't the
even with
choice.
even with the Nano, I think they were lacking those heroes to clutch it up with the Nano to turn the team fight around. Like Nano Blade with the Blade or some other DPS could have worked, but Nano with a Bastion, it's sometimes not enough. And Nano, so I think they were lacking in team comp, and also might be bringing Mint. That Mint is supposed to be the Lucio player for VERREL, so we might have some roster being changed after the break. And talking about the break, we'll actually take a quick one. When we come back, we'll have that map number for you guys. And welcome back, everyone. We are waiting for that match number of map number 4. Getting ahead of myself, we were just talking a little bit during the break as what happened to VERREL, as they were really thinking a lot about the team comp, as there was a lot of mismatch, I think, in how. So exactly the attacking point of DAF was the weakness of VERREL, and it did not change throughout the entire Flashpoint. That's why it actually, compared to what we expected, at least few points being taken by each side, it was actually a 3-0 because DAF with the Doomfist, I think, had a really crucial idea that worked perfectly, and then there was clearly, I think, a weak link in VERREL's composition there.
Yeah, so I don't want to point fingers at individual players, but I think it was more of like a team composition issue, like you said, G-Clef. I think the Ana was not working at all. Maybe if you are against the Doomfist, if you're able to land your sleep darts on every Doomfist jump,
it's hard on Doomfist.
Yeah, and then also you didn't get a lot of value on the anti-need as well, so maybe that's a little bit, I guess, of a mismatch on the side of DAF. And I think being a DPS player in nature, I think when you go to the flex support, you don't have a lot of yes, you do play support in ranked, but I think apart from the Illari and Ana, sometimes you're just not comfortable enough to put them on an official match like this. But yeah, I would definitely see, I can definitely see maybe if they want to keep Mihawk on the support line. Colosseo does make sense because it has a long straight corridor, so it does make a little bit of sense because there's more distance and it's open for a little bit of double flex support play. But yeah, so Colosseo makes a little bit of sense, but I'm very interesting to see whether DAF knows that Mihawk is still in the roster. Maybe they want to go with the Doomfist yet again, but no, they at least for the time being, they are hovering the Sigma.
Yeah, Miracom, except for the tanks, Orisa Sigma differences there. As the production was highlighting to all of you guys to stay hydrated.
Really?
Yes, that was the camera shot.
Well, the jump over there was not high enough. However, looks like you said, G-Clef, only the tank will be the difference here. I personally think that Orisa might be a little bit better in this matchup because you're not going to be able to cover all angles of DAF's VERREL's DPS lineup. However, right now DAF is feeling very confident because they are at match point. We'll see how it goes. Cloud taking down Pally. That's a good sign for VERREL. So maybe they will use this opportunity to push, and there you go. Nico takes down High Vision. High Vision, a big part of DAF's win plan. So DAF has to back off and initial push on the side of VERREL.
Yep, some great play starting from Cloud, and also some good coverage coming from Mihawk, as we have seen. Another kill from Kyuki, actually long distance. I think R3K is just feeling slightly more comfortable on Sigma compared to Orisa. I can kind of sense that in terms
Yeah,
of team comp.
I understand because R3K is traditionally an all-tank player.
Uh-huh.
Mostly, I mean, these days, like, all tank player kind of play all kinds of tanks, but there has been, probably would have a lot more playtime on off tanks like the Sigma. But looking at the current moment right now, because VERREL had so many stagger kills, VERREL is already almost on that uphill battle to cap the point, contest for the point here. Oh, that Captain's Son denied by R3K. Nice by R3K, but still they need a little bit more than that in order to push VERREL out and match that push. It looks like Nico is taking down iVision, Pally taking down KSG, so trade kills all around.
Yeah, but the fight's still happening on top and the bottom of the bridge. And the moment it seemed
Nico's
like DAF...
committing with that visor.
Oh, that
takes
was close.
Ace down, but
Oh.
was it worth it? Because it was already a winning fight for DAF, and DAF is taking...
I think Nico wanted to stretch things a little bit. It was close. Was able to get a few kills, but against the 4, it seemed like an impossible mission to finish by himself alone. Of course, we have seen some great moments from both players of Soldiers, but at that moment, sometimes you just go with the flow. You just press that Q. But let's see
this
how
may
if it
actually
was worth it.
snowball so hard
Uh-huh.
because DAF has 5 ultimates and VERREL only has 2. Maybe, yes, VERREL has the Turret Surge and the Molten Core. However, they can match or even use one more. Even so, DAF can afford to use 3 ultimates to win this fight. No, they might even not need to use that because Cloud has fallen. Nico has fallen. So they don't even... So yes, the High Vision uses...
DAF only using 2 actually vision all the way up. Here's iVision.
So only the visor and the Captain's Son used on the side of DAF. So yes, VERREL is sorely going to miss that tactical visor that Nico had.
Let's make our stand.
Yeah, you could have matched it, but I think VERREL's willing to take this as about 20 meters away in terms of distance.
No, but
That's still
yeah,
a
but if
push.
you look at it, Puda is starting his aggression here, being matched with a...
Okay, Molten Core was able to grab a few more kills, continuing to push. Actually, might be able to get a point.
So
Okay.
DAF taking the lead here. VERREL used 2 ults, but to no profit at all. I think the only ult used by DAF was the Amplification Matrix. And yes, DAF does not want to risk any more deaths and give up the lead again, so they retreat so that they can have fight on neutral territory.
So going back into the middle now. It's being contested. Right in the middle, Q-Loud Mihawk. Support's ready to go, but Ace.
The Captive Son comes for Cloud, but who is going to be the victim? I don't think that hit a lot of members and not a lot of follow-up damage here. Mihawk also using the ultimates. As long as DAF can survive here, they will be having the upper hand. Yes, there is that multi-core. There is that Gravitic Flux. Trading 2 ults with 2, and DAF takes the winning. DAF takes the win. So it's once again a profit for DAF Esport.
Yeah, big profit as that Sigma was able to grab the remaining members of VERREL. And still having some good ult management, still having that both of the support line available, the Matrix and also the Captive Son for DAF. Now that the factor is High Vision's visor is actually coming up real soon. So when they actually go for the bridge push, once High Vision can actually have the side angle available, it could be the big moment.
Oputo taking down, that's good news for VERREL, but Cloud is also gone as well. So DAF, as soon as they find that they're at 4v4, they start the aggression. Pally is trying his best to keep R3K alive, however, to no avail. And VERREL able to take down the entirety of DAF and is trying to go to take that lead back.
Yeah, not just the ult usage from DAF, but on top of that, VERREL I think just had really better positioning and better shots from that fight. Nico, of course, grabbing a kill onto High Vision was a great start, and also Kyuki landing some long distance shots. And as these neutral fights, sometimes it goes. I think it's slightly going more towards VERREL, unless there are ult advantage for DAF right now.
The momentum is definitely there for VERREL unless High Vision can make a very High Vision. Yes, Okay.
Oh, those trackings are awesome. Look, he can chase down the opponent. And grab the kill. Okay. Say hello to your nightmare.
Oh my god, High
Oh,
Vision is
Pali
doing
stole the kill.
God's work here. Yes, Pali did steal the kill, but the important thing is that DAF has won with just two ultimates. I did not see the amplification matrix coming in, but winning with 2 ults is actually pretty okay. Maybe, yes, VERREL will have 4 ults online, but the important thing is that DAF will be able to cap that point.
Yeah, look now, High Vision now coming all the way to the side. But 4 ults available for VERREL. How many are they willing to spend? R3K early on.
Early on takes down KSG. That means they can get a little bit more mileage on that payload. This is like I said on the previous match, G-Clef. Capping that point is going to be very, very, very important.
Yeah, that's why VERREL is actually keeping all 5 ultimates waiting for that time to burn out. And then, okay, there's a first flux. Catching one. And there's multiple.
They're using 3 ultimates. Yes, DAF may fall, but DAF can lose with smiles on their faces because they know that they already capped the point.
They go from the back.
They got what they came in for, but Pali, is that really worth it though? They do take out Mihawk, but it doesn't really matter because the fight is already lost.
222 left, but that might have been a fat finger, but it's hard where you already had your teammates falling down to the ground.
Yeah,
Maybe trusting into High Vision. Okay, High Vision, Nico 1-1.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
I like this 1v1. I would like to keep on watching it.
Well, High Vision has...
Stop helping the teammate. Let's make it 1-1.
High Vision has the tactical visor, and VERREL has the support ults online. So 2 ultimates on each side. Apudo is using the window first to zone out VERREL. They know that as long as they burn out time, they will be at the advantage. High Vision taking down Nico and not taken down by Cloud's Captain Sun. High Vision, how is he making these plays happen?
And still running away without a death. And rotates quickly back to his teammate's side. Cloud right next to him. Finds himself in trouble, but actually escapes without losing life.
Yeah, it's actually Mihawk who's going to fall, and well, High Vision probably gets taken down by his own rocket. But still, it's a numbers advantage for the side of DAF right now. And R3K has the Gravitic Flux, and there's no ultimate answer. Maybe Nico can have that tactical visor in time. They desperately need that to home it.
30 meters apart as VERREL needs a gigantic push in the remaining 45 seconds.
Remember, even if VERREL caps the point, they need to wait 8 seconds for the bot to move again, and there's only 38 seconds!
So they basically need to stick to the bot and never move around. As here comes the push from VERREL at least!
Oh!
And one more call from R3K!
The Nico had the tactical visor on, but it's denied by R3K!
Oh, and that, this might just be it with 20 seconds. Ace grabbing the final kill here.
DAF does not need to push because they know that they don't want to even...
Of course.
Yeah, because they don't want VERREL to be... They don't want the bot to be near VERREL because if they push, they can trigger... They can give VERREL an opportunity to trigger overtime. Can Nico be able to touch? I think he can.
He can touch. And with the help of KSG joining as Doomfist plus Echo in the air from Kyuki. Okay, do they have the right team comp? Can they have the right output to push the robot all the way to 90 meters in overtime?
But Apudo has the window. They want to zone.
Oh,
they have the tool. Oh, Pally's down. High Vision's down. This might be it. They have the tools to contest, but VERREL still has to win at least one more fight because after VERREL caps that point, they still have to wait 8 seconds.
Okay, that did work very well and cleanly for VERREL after changing the team comment. On top of that, they were able to grab a lot of those ultimate charges up to almost 80% for 2 more on top of supports.
VERREL might actually be able to do it. Is the cap.
They got the free time here.
They need to wait a few seconds. Oh, Pally is down. This buys VERREL time for that extra push. There's only a few meters left. It's almost 20 meters now.
Less than 20 meters. As DAF still needs teammates. They do need the support teammates to come back up, giving no time.
DAF is zoned out.
TSG
Good.
going for it. It's still being pushed 6 meters away, and no one to actually go into that zone.
3 meters. Okay, the touch is there. This is going to be the final fight for either team.
Okay, Ace is down.
Ace
Then
down.
the push is there.
Health
Okay,
bar is low on the side of
Jungle
DAF.
Green was there, but no one else being contested.
Oh my god.
0.4 meters away.
VERREL actually did it. We're going to map 5.
For the first time of the tournament, after having that team comp change from 0 to 90 minutes without a single team fight loss.
Wow, the adrenaline is still in my veins. Wow. Yes, this was by no means a perfect victory, but VERREL, I have to praise them for their mental fortitude here. This map was almost gone. They had, because at 38 seconds left, they had no ultimates. The opponent had amplification matrix, and they didn't even cap. So they had to win a fight, cap, wait 8 seconds, win another fight, and cap, and they actually did all that they needed.
I think VERREL also realized after the first cap, where I don't exactly recall who got the kill on Pali, but the moment you saw that fall, that was a moment where DAF also said, "Uh-oh, we are in trouble." I thought we had enough time, but I guess we'll be running out. And at that moment, Genji just had to run touch. Jungle Queen barely had any HP left by the time, was nearby the bot, and then that was just it. And sometimes these miracle pushes actually work.
Yeah, wow. So I guess there is a reason why VERREL chose Colosseo, and wow, we are going for the first time Escort.
Escort it is, and I wonder which map. I would like to see some old maps like 66 or.
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I don't, because we don't have any data at all, because we haven't seen any escort maps from any of these teams. So I don't know what the preferences may be, but if I think DAF, if they want to keep using the Doomfist, maybe 66 is viable. My guess would be Dorado, though.
Dorado? Well, we'll have that answer for you when we come back from the break. We have to take a short break. Let's cool down a little bit. Get ready for that number 5 map. And here comes map number 5 between the two teams. VERREL, DAF. It just has to come down all the way now. Slightly more momentum for VERREL, as that was a near impossible push.
Yeah.
90 straight meters without losing a team fight. I don't think they lost too many members in those 2-3 team fights.
Yeah, I believe
maybe one or
two. But it did not affect the outcome of the fights. And we looked back a little bit on the replays, and it was actually Mihawk who took down Pally. That was one of the most important kills of that map. And man, I am still not cooled down from that. My heart is still beating from that.
Yeah, the adrenaline is running crazy. I know the longer stream, you guys love it. You guys love to have more games, more game time. Better for us too, because we would like to see a lot more game played too, because we have such a big map pool too, and we would like to see more games. Which type of game con, what type of roster they're actually going to be using for each map and each map that we have here. As this is a gigantic map pool. Come to think of it, again and again, I think we actually have 4 more.
We have Dorado, we have 66, we have Shambali, we have
Uh-huh.
Circuit Royale. So I was looking at, I was looking at my notes
cheat
here.
sheet. The cheat sheet, just in case we forget the map pool, because we do have a lot of maps to remember all the time.
Hey,
so.
my memorizing abilities have
like to see some.
took a back step since I graduated school. So
Okay.
yeah,
would like to see some Dorado, some more action.
I think Dorado makes sense.
Going back to some classic maps.
I think Dorado makes sense because it's going to be DAF's pick. DAF has Dorado is a map where you can play both the Diva, sometimes the Sigma as well, and also the Doomfist. I think the Doomfist really worked well for the side of DAF. Also, you can use the Echo for Ace And also some hit scan for High Vision, maybe even the Widow or the Ashe. So I think it makes a lot of sense to go to Dorado, but at the same time, if you put it in that way, maybe Route 66 kind of also makes sense. I think it really depends on like what DAF thinks that will be more trickier for VERREL rather than what works better for them.
And I would like to see some more
Circuit
Royale.
Okay, so they definitely want to play more Sigma. That's my take.
Sigma with some escort push, or as well as we have Bastion. I was slightly more thinking about some potential with Reinhardt on like Route 66 or some other maps, but it looks like it is Circuit Royale indeed. And
so come to think of it, Circuit Royale makes a lot of sense because R3K, I believe they're gonna go with R3K here. They can use the Sigma. High Vision can go with the Widow duel, because remember, if we look at it, if we remember Ilios, yes, VERREL did win, but just in terms of the Widow duel, High Vision had the upper hand, so maybe they want to challenge VERREL into that as well. I think it makes sense, but it's really dependent on, at this point of the game, it's more like, hey, are you composed enough? Hey, do you have what it takes to clinch? Do you have what it takes to clutch?
Those are going to be the questions that we will get answers real soon. As Mihawk on Widow, just for the start, and we do have Plankton coming in instead of KSG.
Yeah, so this makes a lot of sense again, because you know, everyone knows by now that Circuit Royale is a Sigma map. So, like, if there's one Sigma player, if there's like a Sigma one-trick on your team, this is the map that you want. I'm not saying that Plankton is a Sigma one-trick. He has a variety of hero pulls, including a lot of off-tank, traditional off-tank heroes. But yes, it definitely makes sense because Sigma, why not go Sigma if Sigma's so good in this map?
And on top of that, Mid came back as support, as you can see with the Widow. Mihawk ready to go. Zoomed up, max powered. Misses those first shots.
So it definitely makes sense, and what I really want to point out is the Zen pick here. I think VERREL will be having an easier time taking down R3K Sigma because of the... Mihawk. But Pally also has the... Okay.
I guess you can also snipe with Zenyatta. It's also possible. If you can land that projectile from all the way back.
Pally being punished by Plankton. So it's a 4v4 at the current moment, but Mihawk will be there faster, and also she can shoot from range. So it's going to be a little bit on the favor of VERREL until Pally gets back.
Slightly more time needed. And both Widows trying to open up any angle. One kill, or even not just a kill, a body shot. Putting enough damage into one should be enough.
Yeah, the sniper duel is going to be very, very important here because one kill, one crack is going to be able to open up the entire attack. But there's a trade. Nico takes... Okay, Ace is also down, so this is going to be a win for VERREL. R3K? Well, never mind.
High Vision?
I spoke a little bit too soon.
The moment you always say that, you have to keep in mind if R3K and High Vision, if those two are alive, they can turn things around pretty easily. But eventually they do go down against Nico. Another Sojourn who's having a pretty good day so far.
Plankton. Who did you try to use that verdict flex on?
Don't exactly know.
So, well,
on SpongeBob, that's what I can come up with. That's how my brain works. Okay?
In the end, VERREL and DAF both don't have the gravitic flux. So Cloud with that, Cloud can use that transcendence a little bit more easily now. They don't have to counter the gravitic flux on both sides, which is kind of interesting.
No one can hide.
Cloud taken down. So this is a little bit of angle opened, and Plankton is also taken down. So this might be DAF's opportunity to cap point A.
Yeah, the moment you see Parslide off front, and R3K helping out with the damage and free push. From now on, DAF still having full pressure. Trying to go for second point already.
Okay, VERREL has 3 ultimates, and DAF has 2. One is going to be used defensively. Well, I mean, Mihawk's Infrastrate is not... Well, yes, it's a valuable ult, but it's not something that does damage or is of much effect. But, okay, maybe I think VERREL can pull the trigger with the overclock first because they know... Oh, never mind, because Aces now, they don't need the ultimate.
As they might just be pushed all the way, Plankton. Pressuring the front line.
Good immortality field to keep R3K alive. High Vision is actually going to be the one who is going to pull the trigger with the overclock. Both Transcendences used, so a lot of...
So a lot of
assist on both sides, but good Gravitic Plus Mine was not able to finish the second part because Cloud took R3K down, but Pally is doing the revenge. He is on a killing streak right now. He is a monk, thirsty for blood. Now it is time for Plankton to use the Gravitic Flux. Takes down a few members.
What in the world? These supports are having about 7 kills in that team fight. In total, High Vision is still alive.
High Vision is still alive, but I don't think there is any momentum for DAF to keep on pushing the card, so they have to reset. No, wow, look how close this fight was because nobody has ult.
Yeah, they ended up using everything whenever it was ready. You could see those fluxes being used and with Matrix up on the same angle. Trying to match the opponent's power level. As let's see slightly better numbers. Just a little bit for VERREL because Mihawk has an Infrasight, but it's not really the most damaging one. Oh, as Mihawk strikes back.
Hey, who needs Infrastrate if
Genji
you can just
dead.
click heads?
No, that's right. You need to have the clear sight of view to have that headshot.
I think
Slightly more push for DAF, but Plankton used to be touching.
the ult economy is going to be very important from this point on because it is 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining. If DAF is able to keep all their ultimates and use all of them just for the second point push, they would be able to make this. However, VERREL does have the Transcendence, and they will be having both support ultimates online, but Cloud uses his ultimate. Yes, DAF can lose it. Oh wait, Pally actually decides to commit and takes down his Zenyatta counterpart, but Nico takes down
What's
Pally.
happening here?
Plankton also takes down Naputo, so no ultimates for DAF. And a little more delay for more staggers here. So this might be final fight territory for DAF's defense here.
Yeah, Plankton actually grabbing the remaining kills. Okay, as they were trapped in that small zone at least. So I thought the AF actually had a chance there to push it all the way to second point.
But hear me out.
But did they go a little bit too far?
No, but look at this.
Okay.
Cloud doesn't have Transcendence. Ace has Dragon Blade.
Uh-huh.
What are you going to counter Dragon Blade with?
Headshot? if you can
Correct
get lucky.
answer.
Uh-huh.
There's that.
Okay, there's a late sound. Deflected, and then...
Doesn't make any direct kills, but does enough damage to
High
keep
Vision
pressure
does a lot of damage
the
on the other side. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so this is going to be point B cap for DAF. Yes, they used both DPS ultimates, but ultimately it was worth it.
Okay.
And I think it was... I think, but for some reason, I don't know how or why Cloud's Transcendence was used, but baiting that Transcendence out was very, very crucial in DAF's DAF use capping that point B.
You can move faster. That's sometimes what you need. Or maybe he was thinking about like saving his teammate who was already dead. So that timing was really bad, I do have to say. But you have to be careful of those Blade and High Vision's overclock. Their percentages are coming back at the same time. So here's Flux from Plankton.
Flux. RDK taking down.
Oh wait!
So
VERREL!
that's gonna be Flux. That's gonna be Flux denied from the side of DAF. Yes, they have 40 seconds left. So
but the payload is keeping push.
The payload, okay.
Oh man, they do have to keep that checked.
I remember an Overwatch League match where Panthera just gave up like 30 seconds on the free payload. Like, fortunately for this one, this is not the case here.
Mihawk? I remember Team South Korea with 0.07. on this map, I think.
Oh, 20 seconds. Somebody needs to touch, but does anyone has enough speed?
Okay, early Matrix up. Flux used by R3X.
Okay, Ace actually makes the touch happen, and High Vision takes down Mihawk. So DAF may be able to make this happen.
Vision?
Yes, Cloud does use the chance
Turn just for the extra push. Can VERREL come? Touch in time. All 4 of them actually pushing. They need to come in time. Okay, there's Genji.
Mihawk Genji, but it costs his life for it. Nico on the chaser, maybe for the desperation touch.
Oh, way too many kills happening. VERREL, I don't think they can do it anymore. Nico is nearby. Tracer, the only one touching with very low HP.
And it's going to be the full push. DAF, what a push! I thought they might have been just stopped on point B, but in the end, they make the full cap happen. Yes, it is overtime. However, they make all 3 happen. They have a win condition on their side right now.
What a crazy performance by DAF once again. We did get to see a lot of blade action in our screen, and on top of that, High Vision, those 2 DPSs just pairing up perfectly. One being the greatest distraction for the opponent, and High Vision, when there is that big distraction for the opponent, it is such an easier time for you to just do free damage from long distance.
Yeah, I think, yes, I'm not trying to disrespect any of the teams here, but I think being the nature of it being map 5 kind of also has like some sort of mental fatigue on both teams, so both teams are having a little bit of some mistakes here and there, and also the opponents are taking advantage of each team's mistakes. So like this is an action-packed map right now. I don't know, like usually Circuit Royale isn't this chaotic. However, it is fun to see in the eye, and it's very exciting to see.
Right?
Especially in such a big tournament against such a big team. A single match, 5 maps, can drain your stamina. It's close to playing about 8-9 games in a row without stopping, I would say, in terms of competitive games.
Especially if there's a lot of at stake and you have a lot of people watching. That's a lot of pressure on you. But coming back to the match, it is going to be the same composition for the VERREL offense. And once again, we have to look at how the sniper duel goes.
Mihawk, Ace, Widow duel, plus Q-Loud and Pali. There's Zenyatta duels too. And the Sigmas, of course.
Alright.
Having fun.
Not a lot of differences. Not a lot going on, but Cloud takes out Pally. So that's going to be a lot less.
Ace getting the headshot on Nico though. A big trade on the DPS.
Good immortality field to save Ace here.
And they can certainly have some. I thought they were going to have some more push, but going to
Ace needs some healing. High Vision needs also healing. R3K needs healing as well. Oh, never mind. Everyone's gonna die. And VERREL will be able to finally get some progress here.
You can spam all you want, but you won't be getting the heals when you don't have your supports next to you.
There is a very sliver difference between R3K and Plankton on that Gravitic Flux. If R3K is able to farm that Gravitic Flux earlier, they might actually have a chance to defend and stall VERREL on their point 8 push.
And also Matrix available from Mint. If that is used earlier on, they might be putting out some more earlier kills. There it is. Early window up. R3K actually going slightly back. Moving that line all the way back.
Yeah,
here.
this is great because R3K knows that only he has the Gravitic Flux, but it doesn't lead into any kills. So now it's going to be Plankton's turn.
Oh, grabbing a good target on the back.
Good immortality field, and that makes it so Plankton is the one to fall, not the supports. And it is DAF's turn to take revenge here.
Side on. We have extra vision. Stop this payload from reaching. Now 1:44 remains for VERREL to push all the way to finish.
Remember, as long as VERREL doesn't get sniped out by Ace or High Vision here, they will be on an advantage for a little while because Cloud is the only one with the chance in this here. Yes, there is that transcendence with the extra sustain. However, Pally will be having his own. But he is a little bit too late to save Oputo, so Oputo falls, Cloud falls as well, so it's a 4v4. Nico falls. I think VERREL has to reset again.
Reset, and it'll be about the final push. About a minute left now. RDK just doing the cleanup duty along with Ace High Vision. And they
Less
are
than 1 minute now.
They're on fire, but not too many ults going to be ready. Only R3K's Gravitic Flux. As the closest one I see from VERREL will be the Matrix available from mid.
Yeah, the Infrasight is going to be there, but like you previously mentioned, Jacob, this is not something like this is a utility ult.
Yeah, a lot of pressure for Mihawk. Has to open up with a headshot. Will be the best. That's exactly why you play that Widow. 30 seconds. Can you pull it off?
R3K has that Gravitic Flux. Remember, Cloud does not have that Transcendence for... Oh, R3K! Oh, they need to save R3K! Yes, R3K, that's nice.
There's that Matrix
Immortality
early on.
There's gonna be the...
Only catching Sigma, though. Oh, but Nico getting multiple kills.
Mihawk!
With headshot! Oh, but all the DPS dead. High Vision. Can you put out the miracle? No, he cannot. And that will be VERREL, who had close to no time to push for the first checkpoint, will be able to grab at least one, but still the push has to continue.
Yeah, so it's only going to be point A for the side of VERREL. But remember, R3K used his Gravitic Flux, and Pally still does not have the Transcendence online. So it's actually going to be Plankton's turn to use the Gravitic Flux and pressure DAF. And if they can get... if they can win one fight with the Gravitic Flux and maybe win another sniper duel, this may be easy point B.
Oh man, this is happening again. VERREL having one miracle push. Let's see if it happens.
So no
Ace.
casualties on.
Some trading kills. Mihawk, another headshot onto Widow. Mihawk's on fire.
But High Vision is answering.
Who's gonna win that duel?
So no Plankton, but R3K is alive, so he will be High Vision will be having that barrier advantage. Yes, Mihawk will fall. VERREL has to reset, but they still have 1 minute and a half on the line.
Some more time, but it's not much because they still have to push towards the uphill, and lots of teams can actually have trouble coming all the way up here, as you do have better high ground from the defending side. That is going to be DAF. VERREL climbing up slowly now. Changing up to Hanzo.
VERREL has to make something special happen here, because if you look at the ultimates here, Pally has that Transcendence. Cloud is also getting his Transcendence really quickly. However, the High Vision are with that
Overclock ready for both. Nico coming online soon. 2% off. So Nico, Overclock. Let's see who wins from Sojourn Banner. Nico immediately brought down.
That is going to be
trouble.
That is going to be the Overclock denied for the side of VERREL. 48 seconds. Pally falls.
Plankton, High Vision still alive.
But High Vision is doing all the damage in the world.
The VERREL, they used all the ultimates. They just lost the fight.
No healing from Plankton. They have to reset and they have to do it quick.
This is going to be incredibly hard. No ultimates available. Only maybe Flux. Less than 25 seconds. There's Pulse Bomb plus the Transcendence from DAF.
Yeah, Plankton will be having that Gravitic Flux really quick, but Pally can counter that with the Transcendence. The best scenario is that Pally is taken down by a snipe by VERREL. But can VERREL make that happen?
Oh man, this Tracer is harassing so much from the back line. High Vision already got Hanzo down.
Transcendence there to counter the Gravitic Flux. There was no touch.
They were missing away from the payload.
Oh my goodness.
Sigma bringing their opponent up, then DAF will be the winner of this quite a long series that brought us all the way to map number 5. VERREL loses a match already.
Wow, I did not wake up to expect that VERREL would be losing this match today, but full credit to DAF. They looked very shaky against NGUK, so that kind of even fortified my thoughts about, hey, I think that VERREL is going to make it because DAF looks really rusty today. But DAF made the miracle happen, but not just a miracle by luck, but they made it on their own merit. I just can't even pull in words. They did all that they needed to win.
I don't know, right before that in map 4, Miracle actually worked for VERREL. They had the amazing push. on Colosseo. Now coming into Circuit Royale, DAF they were just on a roll. Especially, I have to be assuming that player of the game will be High Vision again. There was some great moments from a lot. Even the Zenyatta battle was really insane. We could see the frustration and the desperation coming out from VERREL even after the switching into heroes like Hanzo. But still, DAF coming up with a Tracer at the end, having that pulse bomb, harassing from the back line, which was never done before. So you could see a lot of the members of VERREL just having a lot of hard time focusing into the side, saying, okay, do we deal with the Tracer first or the Sigma up front, because the Flux was just used, which was the final battle, and it did work a lot more towards DAF.
And your man of the player of the match is going to be none other than High Vision. High Vision has been very, very impressive on all sorts of heroes. We already saw the Tracer, we already saw the Torbjorn, we already saw the Soldier 76, and wow, what a performance from this monster player here.
Beautiful tracking.
Also the Sojourn. So how many heroes is that? 4? 5? I tracked 4.
Just tap and kill. That's all you need. And the visor from on top. Even without the visor, he makes it look like he's always having that ultimate on because the tracking is so good.
Well, like the thing is, remember what I mentioned about High Vision is that his greatest value in this match was that he turned around fights that DAF should be losing, because DAF was like sometimes on a ultimate disadvantage, but still, with pure mechanics, he made the turnaround happen, and he fully deserves that player of the match on a banger match on a banger series.
Certainly the MVP of the team. As DAF came back big, even against NGUK. Yeah, ever since High Vision came into the roster, they just streamrolled. So 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, and a 3-2. Finally, we had quite a longer of a series, which I loved so much. This winner was, I have to say, certainly so far, only 2 days, but has to be the best match so far in APAC Fall Series.
I mean, remember, this was the matchup. This was the grand final matchup for Contenders APAC Summer Series, and it lived up to its name. It was really a great match. Yes, there were some sloppy mistakes on both sides here and there, and at Mat 5, both teams looked like they were experiencing a little bit of mental fatigue. However, it is no doubt that there were super plays coming here and there on both sides, and DAF able to come on top. VERREL, still, I want to give props to VERREL because they did put up a good fight, and their run is not over yet. Yes, they lost and they're falling to the lower bracket. However, they still have a chance of revenge by going through a lower bracket run. And I don't, I'll be very, very honest here. And the teams that in the lower bracket, I don't think that there will be any teams that will be able to match VERREL's level of prowess.
That can totally be coming true in the next week, but you never know. A lot of these teams in the lower bracket, I think they have some extra time to practice, because we actually have about 9 days or up to 10 days until we get to go into that third day of APAC Fall Series. So it depends how they use the time to study, to practice what they actually have the opponents. And this will be the schedule for in 9 days actually. 6 Below versus Invincible. Man, those teams are going to be having a very rough fight, I can tell. As Fade versus NGUK, that's another one that I'm really interested to see. And I would love to see a lot of the support and the DPS fight from those rosters. And another match will be Heaven Sent versus DAF. We're having the winners finals already?
Yeah, I did not know that. I thought there was going to be a little bit more time for the winners finals. However, it is still exciting to see. And although we will not be casting those matches, I think it's going to be either Possible or Lafon, or a Possible Lafon duo, or Opara Papadaka. But those, I have 100% faith that they will do these match justice.
120%, they're going to be bringing hype and analysis and everything for APAC Fall Series. As it's going to be some really cool matchup there as we just went through the first 2 days. Already way too much Contenders action. Top level notch, especially the winner matches has been incredibly fun. Yesterday it was a 3-0, so we didn't get to see as much, but I'm just happy that we got to see that Escort.
Yeah, Escort is pretty fun as it seems.
My heart almost dropped when VERREL did not make it at the end.
Yeah,
I thought it was almost possible too because they just had the miracle push from map number 4, and then maybe it's.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I thought this that fight was going on the way of NGK anyways because they had that transcendence advantage.
DAF.
Yeah, DAF had that transcendence. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. But yeah, so that C9 really hurt.
Yeah, sometimes you. At that moment, because you're all over the place, and also I think the Flux actually kept one up in the air so it doesn't touch.
Yeah,
I think that could have been the moment. As did have Hanzo, of course, you can climb from the side and touch the payload, but moment you climb up,
hey, but you know that
to all the damage and all the things were happening on the same side, so you can't really you can't really do all the things all together. But what a match! What a winners match, especially of the night. I hope you guys enjoyed it
because
at
we
the same
did.
time. We did. We brought the intensity. We have the energy. We had coffee. But this match, I certainly felt like I needed some energy drink for it. And too bad I didn't have that energy drink. But still, it was an incredible match. I would love to see because they might actually be going against each other once again because it's double elimination. It is always possible.
Yeah, so what happens is that if DAF loses to Heaven Sent and VERREL wins all the way on the lower bracket, then they probably will have a rematch on the loser finals. I don't know if that's going to be the case because there's so many possibilities open for all the teams on the bracket right now because we don't have any teams eliminated so far. So we'll have to kind of see a little bit on that. But if that rematch happens, it's definitely going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. Even if the DAF goes straight to the grand finals, Heaven Sent coming down to the lower bracket would be another incredible match.
Exactly.
I like it. Actually, every single one of those actually feels like a grand final to me in terms of matchup. I would just love to see any because it has to happen eventually, right?
Yeah, because like Heaven Sent, VERREL, and DAF, like I wouldn't be surprised if any of those 3 teams would be eventually winning the entire season. So every match between these 2 teams would definitely look like a grand finals to me. And also some of the other teams that just kind of were a little bit short in the earlier matches, but they have a lot of time and potential. The skill is there. So like even today, we both thought that VERREL would have the upper hand and DAF won. There's no guarantee that the upsets like these won't happen on the other side of the bracket as well.
Certainly, it can totally be possible. As we've seen some flipping sides, especially on the Flashpoint map number 3, because we have that as map number 3. Loving it so far, as we get to see that. Even if it's a 3-0, we have to see the map. It's only 2 new junk and also Saravasa, but certainly I've been loving it a lot. Showing some different moves, cool team comps coming out from. And I think the most enjoyable part that I actually want to take from today is actually some Doomfist. And coming up with a win with some potential dive with instead of Winston, the old-fashioned, it's actually the Doomfist with the faster, quicker damage along with the top, providing some CC on top of that too. So it actually worked really well for some of the teams. And I'm pretty amazed that actually can be done in Contenders level.
Yeah, so like you said, G-Clef, Doomfist has already been used in the Overwatch League level. The only tank that I think that has featured in Overwatch League for this patch and not on Contenders is the Wrecking Ball, if I'm not mistaken. Did Wrecking Ball feature in Contenders right now?
For us, yeah, we did have a few Wrecking Balls.
Not for just the last minute touch. Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did from the start.
Yeah, so
on Ilios.
Yeah, so it's proven that all the tanks from the Overwatch League level is
and also
viable.
Busan, yes.
Yeah, in Contenders. So yeah,
we had a lot of games today. I can give you that. It's okay. And by the way, starting from next week, actually, we'll be going on. We'll be on the different patch too, right?
Yeah, starting from the 18th. We will be having a new patch, so not a lot of major changes, but there will be changes on a little bit of Ash, I'm sorry.
Some Zarya.
Yeah, Zarya patches as well.
Of
Good
course,
mention.
you can't
Yeah.
forget about Zarya.
Yeah, and there's some nerfs to Torbjorn and all that, so it'll be an exciting patch.
Yeah, and of course, we can talk more things about Overwatch 2 all night long. But that's gonna do it for APAC Fall Series Day number 2. Guys, come back next time for more APAC Fall Series. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.